Hi, I'm Wanhee, and I got pretty good at this one thing, losing fat. Not only have I done it many times, I've helped others do the same. So here's my advice to anyone that wants to lose fat, whether it's here, or here. Let's get into it. The first thing is you need to stop listening to the BS, the bullshit that is everywhere in the world, on the internet, amongst your friends, amongst your family, sorry to say, because people are just so misinformed when it comes to how to lose fat. It is absolutely incredible. Ask yourself right now, what is the main thing I need to do to lose fat? Make an answer right now. If it's not, stay in a caloric deficit, right? And you came up with some other things like, I gotta eat less and move more, I gotta exercise more, I gotta train harder. All of that is just no, it's just wrong. It's not wrong, but it's only right insofar as it satisfies the rule, the calorie rule, that you need to stay in a calorie deficit. Exercising a lot is good, lifting weights is good, doing cardio is good. All of these things are good because it helps you use more calories than you eat, thereby staying in a calorie deficit, which is what makes you lose fat. Now here's a caveat. If you stay in a calorie deficit, right? If you keep using more energy than you eat, what's gonna happen? Your body's gonna get the energy from somewhere and it's gonna tap into fat, but it's also gonna tap into your muscle. In fact, it really likes to tap into muscle. So what do you do if you wanna lose fat instead of muscle? You gotta train weights, you gotta do body weight training, you gotta do something that tells the body, dude, keep the muscle. If you combine resistance training with calorie deficit, that's how you lose fat. And if you take anything from this video, you gotta take that. Now, some of you in the comments are gonna say, oh, Wanhee, you've said this before, Yeah, and I'm gonna say it again because you cannot leave it outside of a fat loss video. And all of you need to understand that the first priority, the first rule, under which every other rule comes, is the rule of the calorie deficit. So let's get on to the next point. You're gonna go through ups and downs. As someone that's been through the journey many times and actually tracked his weight every single morning for months and months through a fat loss journey. In fact, I made a whole video detailing the journey. Your fat loss literally goes like this. It goes down and then it goes up, and then it goes up, and then it goes down, and then it goes up and it goes down. It keeps doing this stock market stuff. If you're someone that's not experienced, you're gonna take snapshots of those weight because you're not even gonna measure your weight every day, are you? 1% of you guys watching this measure your weight every day, and those that don't measure it every like 2 weeks or something. So you get these snapshots and then you go, oh my god, I tried to eat well, but look, my weight's gone up. Oh my god, I just ate so much but my weight's gone down. Like, I don't get it. You start panicking. You don't know what's good, what's bad. You give up. You don't understand that as long as over time there's a general downward trend, you are on the right track. Now imagine if you knew that. Imagine if you knew, because you watched that video that I made, that the weight is gonna do this as long as you stay in a calorie deficit and do everything else that I talk about. Then you're gonna have the peace of mind when those little upturns happen to stay consistent. So let me just tell you right now, you're gonna have ups and downs, not just in your weight, but in terms of your mood, in terms of your motivation to go to the gym, in terms of your motivation to stay in a calorie deficit, in terms of your motivation to stick to a healthy diet when you're super stressed. Some days you're gonna binge eat, some days you're gonna open the fridge and take 4 ice creams and chug it down. Some days you're gonna go out with your friends and say fuck it and down 2 pints. Those days are gonna come. Let me tell you right now, it's gonna come. So stop acting like you're gonna have salad and chicken breast the whole time. In fact, don't even start out with that plan. Start out with the full knowledge that there will be ups and downs. And that's what makes the process interesting and worthwhile in the end. Next, when you start, let's say, jiu-jitsu, and you know you're gonna get choked 100 times before you get your first belt, and then another 200, 300 times before you get the next belt. And by the time you get your black belt, you're gonna be tapping for your life thousands of times and going through so many hardships that it's actually really difficult to stay consistent over 10 years. If you knew that, in fact, most people that want to get really good at jiu-jitsu start with that knowledge, and therefore they can continue long term and they really commit to the sport. That's what you gotta do. The same thing with fat loss. You gotta realize, okay, this isn't just some 30-day fat loss BS I saw on YouTube. Those don't work, by the way, 30-day, 60-day fat loss challenges. Once you understand that it is actually gonna be quite challenging, then you're gonna make that big of a commitment internally to be like, okay, I'm ready for this. You know, like when you're about to jump off like a bungee jump, you go like, all right, this is a big deal. Whereas if you're just diving into your local pool, you're just like, yeah, whatever. That kind of preparation, I'm going to do this, I'm going to commit, there's going to be hardships. That's what you need. Next, you are the way you are because your lifestyle is solidified by the people around you. You try to do something, but The groceries that get bought into your house are from a certain supermarket, from your mom who cooks from her family history a certain type of food. Maybe that's a bunch of fried food and dessert. Maybe you're dating a girlfriend who thinks like going to the gym and building a body that you're proud of is kind of lame, that why would you act like all these gym bros, and she sneers down at it. Maybe whatever the hell you are in, there are people that are confining you and holding you to your current lifestyle. Everybody has this, and it works in both ways. There's negative effects, but you might be surrounded by freaking athletes, and just by being in a room full of athletes, you start sleeping like them, you start training like them, and suddenly you're pulled upward. So the sooner you become aware of the effect that your social environment is having on your body, the sooner you can take charge of that situation and do things to change it in your favor. Next, so how do you fix your social environment in your favor? You need to say no more to protect your body. Imagine I came to you and I started trying to shove this wet wipes down your mouth. What would you do? You'd be like, no, right? It's the same thing. Food that you don't want, you need to say no, because your mouth is your boundary, your skin is your boundary, your body is literally the boundary between you and the outside world. Yet what do you do when your grandma, your mom, your friends is like, drink a beer, just have it, man, eat the pizza? What do? You just blah. So develop the consciousness, the awareness to know how it's affecting you, and then develop the courage to say no, because that's the first way in which you protect yourself and your body. Next, the next one is for the people that are like, okay, but I clicked on this video wanting to know how the hell do I lose fat? Lift weights, walk. Lift weights, walk. Lift weights, walk. That's what you do. Okay, lift weights not in the traditional fitness industry gym bro kind of way, where you're doing sets and reps and exercises for hours and hours, sweating like crazy, grunting in the gym and leaving the gym exhausted. Okay, because that's basically the same thing as doing cardio. Instead, you want to lift heavy weights to build strength, and you want to walk 10,000 steps a day, and you want to actually limit a little bit the amount of crazy sweating, heart rate raising cardios that you do, because that leads to hunger spikes that lead you to eat more, which again does what? Makes it harder for you to stay in a calorie deficit, which, as you remember, is the first rule. For those of you that want a simplified system, I have my training courses and even a community where I coach you on live calls every week, literally every week. And we're a tight-knit small community. I actually get to speak to you one-on-one, really listen to your story and really help you out. Like, I'm literally dissecting your form videos on a WhatsApp group chat. So if you want that kind of like direct coaching from me to learn how to build muscle, drop fat, check out Minimalist Training Club in the link below. Or if you want to do it at your own pace, check out my minimalist training system and all the other programs that I've got going on. Let's go on to the next point. If you see all the videos on the internet, they're going to talk about how to get rid of belly fat, how to get rid of face fat, how to get rid of arm fat, thigh fat, back fat. But you have to realize that genuine fat loss is more like letting go than getting rid. Like, really actually go into the semantics of this, like getting rid and losing, it's very much focused on action. You're doing an action, like a very active thing that you're doing to get rid of it. Like, I'm gonna scoop this thing and chuck it out. Like, how are you gonna get rid of what you are? You are an average chubby person. You are a skinny fat guy. Like, you are fat. So you might take a different strategy. You might want to let go. Let go is less about actively doing something. It's about an attitude. It's an identity shift where you go from trying to force something to, I let that go. Let's say you were broken up with your girlfriend and you're just trying so hard. You're actively like trying to get rid of her. You're trying to get rid of her from your mind because the breakup is painful. You're trying to get rid of her. Get rid of her. Get rid of her, man. But you just can't do it, right? You just can't do it. So what do you have to do instead? At some point, you let her go. And letting her go is not like getting rid of her. It's not like blocking her and deleting her. It's more of an internal process where over time, you actually accept the fact that the relationship is over. You harbor no negative attachment or sentiment towards the person. You might even feel total acceptance and gratitude, and you can literally let that person go. And from then on, you are a different person. You're not tied to it. And you want to almost think of fat loss in the same way. Because what are we presuming? We're presuming that you're holding on to fat. That fat is not just some extra thing that you have that you can get rid of, but that you're holding on to it. Then the question is why? Why are you holding on to fat? Well, biologically, you're holding on to fat because it's our insurance against starvation, which was very necessary for most of human evolution. So that's the biological reason. What about the psychological reason you might be holding on to fat? Start to ask yourself this question. Are there underlying reasons that I'm holding on to fat rather than just having it? Next, the final thing, my honest advice to you that wants to lose fat is you can do it. I know I just made it sound super deep and super difficult, but I've seen many people achieve it. My first guy that I helped, he was, bullied his whole life for being fat. We worked a lot on his mindset, his self-confidence, his self-esteem, his self-image. And, I met him just months ago, like years later. Literally, it's been 2.5 years, 3 years almost. And he's like he was when we finished. He still kept his weight off. If you want it enough, you're going to get there. You just need someone that believes in you. You just need a system that works. And you need to understand that there are these ups and downs, these intricacies, and just work through them one by one. I want you to really believe that you can do it because it's really possible. That's my honest advice to you. If you want me to help you, join my coaching community. See you in the next video.